That's not
No,
the right
that's
one,
the
is
wrong
it?
one.
Where is it?
Oh no.
Here we go. That's better.
This sounds a lot better.
It does. It just works, doesn't it?
It does.
So, we're back again. Big Rusty Burger and Sam Landry.
What's good, everyone?
We're missing a Tay though, which is a shame. But we'll push on without him anyway. So this week we're doing a review instead of a preview. We'll probably do a preview later, but later on in the week. But review of week 1, I think we need to start with Headley because he had a bit of a bitch and moan about only having 2 seconds of airtime.
Shut up, would he? He just really wanted to be on here.
So, who else should we talk about?
Well,
No, I'm joking.
we've got Penny Lyle. Okay.
Who was he even playing?
He was playing Rich.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a close game, only 15 points in it.
That's right then. So these are 2 people we haven't really talked about yet. So let's start at quarterbacks then, because for Eagles it was a bit of a game of 2 halves, wasn't it?
Yeah. First half couldn't get anything going. Carson Wentz didn't really get any luck, but second half lit it up and ended with 24 points.
Yeah, it's
Strong
crazy.
showing.
Yeah, played well. Which, yeah, not bad at all. Sorry, I'm just getting the matchup here. Who's Chris got at quarterback?
Chris.
Sorry, Rich.
Carson Wentz.
Who's Headley got a quarterback?
Russell Wilson.
Russell.
Very
Wilson.
prepared.
Yeah, it's like we haven't even got notes in front
Exactly.
of us. Okay, yeah, Russell Wilson. So again, I think that was quite a late pick in the draft, wasn't it? But quite an average week. I mean, I suffered with Rodgers actually this week. Very average, or below average.
Same with me, yeah.
Yeah, that's so that was a pretty good matchup actually for quarterback. Rich edging that. It's a fairly high scoring game week compared to what we're used to with standard scoring. Rich 137, Headley 122. So they're both pretty respectable scores to be fair. Which puts Rich in 4th in our league and Headley in 9th. I was just looking through the team as well. You got Diggs up against Cooks, 2 sort of second wide receivers, but again not really performing there.
Cancelled each other out.
Yeah, 5 points each, which again, I guess even the receptions just were probably not so good there. But yeah, can you...
How about Austin Eckler though? 39 points.
Insane. Yeah, absolutely insane. So yeah, obviously they're not missing Melvin Gordon much if he's still holding out and all the rest of it. I don't know what the updates are there, but yeah, Austin Eckler. Have you got his stats there in front of you?
Austin Eckler, can do.
Because yeah, that's
Apps are shut down.
that's crazy. So what is he? 39 points. He's got just pulling it up as well. This is amazing. App keeps crashing.
Yeah, same. This is good. I have to log right back in.
That's all right. But he's basically must have got a lot of yards and a few touchdowns and quite a lot of receptions. So
Yeah, definitely.
good on you, Rich. Well played there. Another late pick, I think, as well in his draft. So actually, the later picks playing dividends there.
Really good value there.
Yeah, nice. On next matchup, Andy and Liam, and to be fair, Liam naturally gets most of the focus in whenever we talk about this matchup because he's off his face most of the time, but we'll focus on Andy and give him a little bit of airtime. So talk through just the week 1 performance of his team, because I've got a feeling Andy was the 2nd lowest scoring team, was he?
Yeah, he's in 11th. It wasn't good, and that starts from the top. Baker Mayfield. Todd Gurley wasn't involved as much as he probably would have liked.
Yeah.
Kittle and Woods were solid, but there wasn't really any other standouts in that team, and that kind of hurt him. Left Derrick Henry on the bench, 28 points just left there.
Yeah, that's it's gutting when that happens, when you got all those points on your bench, which I'm sure if Nat was under different circumstances, he'd be gutted this weekend with his performance, but I'm sure he's got better things to do at the moment. But yeah, when you look at Gurley there, 10 points, and who were the Rams actually using sort of like in sort of red zone territory, because normally Gurley would just be like playing every snap, wouldn't he? Like,
Seemed to
especially
be
with runs.
Malcolm Brown.
So
He
yeah,
seemed to really crush it this
I
week.
think he sort of not pinched a touchdown off of him, but obviously got a touchdown because he was played in front of him. Robert Woods coming through though, 17 points, was pretty good. And I think Kittle was just a bit unfortunate because he did actually have 2 touchdowns scrubbed out for a flag, didn't he? So, you know, again, with 2 touchdowns, that would have been a pretty heavy week for him. Do you want to talk us through the Browns as we're sort of talking a little bit about Baker Mayfield?
Oh, thanks. Just when it couldn't hurt enough.
Have we got time for this? Or
We could have
keep it short?
I'll keep it short. It was a horrible performance. There was, well, to be fair, the best part of the Browns' performance was our left tackle kicking a guy in the head.
That was awesome. Best player of the game.
Definitely. He shouldn't even be banned for that because that was incredible athleticism. But it was just a horrible performance that, really destroyed me inside. I don't know if I'll recover. And out, yeah.
It was such a shame. There was so much hype for that game, you know? It was like against a beatable team, especially for the Browns. And when you think about the sort of options they have, like Beckham Jr., Landry, Chubb. I mean, I've got Chubb on my team, which I think he got 11 points in the end, which I'm going to take the positives out of that because the Browns were that bad, and yet he still had some sort of value. So I think he'll come good. Yeah. And I think the Browns will come good as well.
I think Beckham still got like 16 points or something.
Yeah. So there must have been moments in that game. It's just... There couldn't have been many because it just wasn't even featured.
Right. It's true. The Bills-Jets were the main game.
The Bills-Jets stole coverage, which was ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, what are you feeling going into this season after what we'll call it Freak Week 1 because it was a crazy week, really, wasn't it? Week 1.
It was. There was some crazy results. Well, I wouldn't say Browns are crazy results, but the Steelers got hammered, destroyed. The Jags defense looked awful. Lamar Jackson could throw on target.
Yeah, I didn't know he could throw.
No, I thought he just ran a lot.
That was ridiculous. And Tay actually was going to leave him on his bench. It's only because he actually thought about it and who the Ravens were playing. It's probably... I think it's fair to say the Dolphins are the worst team in the NFL this season.
I don't think there's any discussion about that. They looked like they weren't playing with any players on the pitch.
Yeah.
It was awful.
I mean, if anyone's a Dolphins fan out there, I don't really know what you've got to live for. So, take that however you want. Speaking of Dolphins fans and this matchup, Andy and Liam, I mean, I feel justified in what we said about Jeffrey and Jackson playing 2 Eagles wide receivers, and yet Jackson fluked. You know, like we said, it's Freak Week 1.
He did it last year.
Deshaun Jackson's never going to score 35 points again this season.
No. Well, if we look at last year, I think... Oh, my app keeps closing down.
That's right. But yeah,
but
I mean,
the
last
same
year...
kind of result at the beginning last year. And I think we should really do some drug testing in this league because for some reason... I don't know how Liam keeps sliding through. I think he's high a lot.
Yeah, well, clearly with that lineup. But I mean, I think Deshaun Jackson's like a firework, and week 1 you saw him explode, and next week you're going to see a few duds and a few fuses lit, but nothing actually happened. So, yeah, I mean, you can make digs all you want, Liam, but
oh yeah, the Eli
bad
Manning
lineup.
dig.
Oh yeah, what was the question? We've got a question of the week here actually, and it'd be interesting.
Got a couple of questions, but I think this is probably the right time to discuss it.
Yeah, go for it. What was it?
There you go. Liam asked, question, is the owner of the Gurley Boys regretting all the abuse they gave Kung Su Panda, especially as they were outscored massively by them in week 1?
Absolutely not, because...
and he called you an Eli Manning wannabe.
Okay, well, I'll take that because, I mean, Eli Manning, 2-time Super Bowl winner, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 4-time Pro Bowl, Heisman Trophy finalist. He's got a net worth of $100 million. He's 8th on the all-time touchdown list. So, yeah, I'll take that. Thanks, Liam.
What a lovely compliment to pay you.
Yeah, it's quite kind of him, actually. But, yeah, don't regret it one bit. I meant every word of it. You're absolutely off your face, mate. Yeah. I mean, you look at his old team. He got such a fluky week, didn't he? Deshaun Watson, he's either going to score 30 points or do an ACL. Damian Williams, 17 points. That's a pretty good haul. But again, would he have done that if Tyreek Hill wasn't injured?
No. And looking at it, next week, it kind of shows how much fluke it was because he's projected 10 less points than me.
Yeah,
And I mean, you're only muster 80.
Your team is the worst
It
team
was awful.
this season, and you're probably going to beat Liam next week.
We really brounced it
was
up.
great. Yeah, I guess you did.
What's the next matchup?
Well, let's talk about Luke Taylor versus Taylor Bushboy, because again, Luke's one of these players who probably hasn't got a clue what he's doing, isn't he?
To put it nicely. Hold on, just getting there. That's right. Yeah, it wasn't a great week for Luke. Tay smashed it.
Third
I think
lowest,
has a
isn't
lot
it?
to do with Lamar. But
So yeah, Luke's 10th overall after that result, and again, I guess Luke is very unfortunate because you look at his team, and to be fair, he has got a solid team,
yeah,
which obviously Chris Standing drafted for him.
yeah, Tyreek Hill getting injured immediately was
Yeah.
nothing short of hilarious.
And Mike Evans being ill probably didn't help, only 4 points there. Zeke Elliott having a quiet game, 13 points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really quiet for
Josh
Elliott.
Gordon on the bench though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's 16 points.
Yeah, that's... I mean,
Well, actually,
look,
I could understand why he's done that.
yeah, I think that's a fair decision. I mean, you got Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Fournette and Elliott. That's a pretty solid lineup. But there's no real depth to his team, is there? Gordon's a good option if he chooses it. I think
If
James...
he's not high.
That's true, or kicking off about something. And now Antonio Brown coming in.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's going to limit Gordon and possibly even Edelman, but we'll sort of find out. But yeah, James White, I think he might be a little bit hit and miss because I think they were... Who were they targeting? Burkhead, I think, got quite a few carries there. Tay's done well with his team, really. He's considering he's got Melvin Gordon and Antonio Brown basically completely ineffectual first week. Brown's eligible for week 2, which will be exciting, I think, because obviously Patriots are up against Dolphins, so again they're just going to rip them to shreds.
Yeah.
Because the Dolphins are just that bad this year.
They are awful. I don't think I've ever seen as much of a disaster as the Dolphins before.
I don't think we can stress enough just how bad the Dolphins are. And again, don't think we can stress enough all those Dolphins fans out there. What are you living for?
Yeah. Honestly, I would just choose another team. already.
Yeah, you'd have to, wouldn't you, really?
Pick
in
someone
that
with a bit more
scenario?
success.
Definitely. Yeah, what do you think about Tay's team? Is it a team that you'd actually take over your own?
Well, considering this week, definitely. I mean, Lamar Jackson completely surprised me with how good he was. Evan Engram, great tight end, good pick. Calvin Ridley, a nice option to have as well, especially coming off the bench from the flex because Antonio Brown's probably going to start for the foreseeable future. But I think it's a really solid team.
Yeah. Yeah, he just seems to have quite a lot of options and possibly depth on his bench. Do you know what I mean? He's like, to have Gordon and Brown on your bench. Even Cam Newton, I know he didn't really perform, but it was, I think Panthers were always going to struggle a little bit up against the Rams.
Definitely.
And yeah, he made a good call playing Jackson in that game. Good call.
Yes.
We could cover your matchup if you want, but I mean,
I think the less said
not
about
bothered.
it, the best.
Yeah. Again,
I mean-
Chris probably got pretty lucky here. I mean, Chris was absolutely battered during the draft.
He was.
How on earth did he pick a team
It's
like
freak week
like
one.
that? Actually, I say pick a team like that. Look at his tight end, Andrews.
I know.
24 points. That's never happening again, is it?
No. But, hey, it's the freak week, you know.
It's
No
a
one knows
freak
what happens
week.
week 1. We'll sort of see who's the better teams week 3 or 4.
Yeah. Mahomes super well. I was going to say super consistent, but in actual fact, he probably got all the work done in the first quarter or two, didn't he?
If he carried on, I think he would have. Well, did what he did in the first half, he would have got the new passing record for
Yeah, that would have been
passing
insane.
yards in a game.
And Dalvin Cook, very good score there, 25 points.
And he's got a solid team. I mean,
Yeah.
he did well.
He's got good options. Although, yeah, I mean, you look at his flex, Westbrook and Montgomery. That's, it's not too strong there, really, is it? But obviously, Devontae Adams underperformed. He's got 3 pretty solid players there in Mahomes, Cook, and Adams. But yeah, maybe it was just one of those freak weeks for Chris. So yeah, Chris, don't get used to that winning feeling because it's probably not going to last long.
Well.
That's just us being honest, and that's what you get with this podcast. You just get honesty and biased opinion against the Dolphins, because we hate the Dolphins.
Suck so much.
They do just suck.
Yours and Jamie's?
Mine and Jamie's, not much to talk about.
Innit?
Absolutely smashed it, didn't I? Completely outscored him.
By 2 points.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, after the Packers played the Bears, Rodgers scoring 12 points. I was thinking, oh, flip, I should have played Winston. Winston's going to go out there and score like 20, 25 points. And goes ahead and throws about 20 interceptions, and I'm exaggerating, but do you know what I mean? He had an awful game, didn't he? 8 points, fancy-wise. And yeah, ridiculous. So, yeah, I don't think I could have played it any better than I did, other than playing Golladay for Chubb. But that's about it, really. Jamie, obviously, he probably feels he's a bit hard done by there. Thielen possibly didn't score as much as he thought. Kelsey definitely didn't. And I think he's obviously putting Hooper down to a good bit of luck for me, which probably possibly, is. Yeah. But I feel Chubb probably underperformed. He probably could have scored more. So
had a couple of good games this week, really. Rich and Heads, you and Jamie.
Yeah,
both games.
It's been good. Yeah, I think as long as things are close, I don't actually mind. It's when you sort of like you just haven't got a competitive team. Do you know what I mean? That's when it's a bit frustrating. And obviously, Chris Stone said it from the beginning. Drafted the strongest, 162 points, absolutely smashed it. So, yeah, good on you, Chris. I mean, Beth has drafted well for you, mate.
Yeah, she did a fantastic job, and hopefully Chris can carry that on into the season.
Yeah, I mean, whatever she's saying to you, just keep doing it, mate.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not just related to football, I think, based on the way she drafts, you should just take any life advice from her.
Incredible. Yeah, I don't think we really need to cover Nat because he's not going to listen to this for a while.
No, that's right. He's busy, man. He's busy. He's just... The one thing I will say to Nat is just stay hydrated, mate, because you don't want to bang an headache.
No, it's true.
So, let's move on to... We won't do predictions for next week. We'll cover that in another one. But we'll do waivers and possible trades. So, like, if there's anyone you feel is definitely lacking in a position who would probably have to trade, but we could talk about that. But we'll go our top 3 waivers, because I think you've got the first pick anyway, haven't you? Or first option. Yeah. And then it's Andy and Luke Taylor. So who do you think the top 3 targets are going to be realistically?
Well, I'll go with number 1 after an incredible week for the Ravens, Marquise Brown.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think it's a little bit of a risk, but the ceiling is super high. And if you have, you might as well try and get big impact players, and I think he's probably one of them.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I think after that, and again, everyone's going to say, but they're playing the Dolphins, who are like the worst team in the NFL and shouldn't even exist. But I think you look at the way Jackson performed, and he's got a good arm on him. I think Brown can do well.
He's probably got a better arm than Dan Marino.
There you go.
Legend,
you heard it here first.
Player.
I don't know if I can agree with that, but I'll take that. Yeah,
100% better.
Nice. Who would be your? So yeah, we both agree on Brown. He'll probably go in the first 3. picks probably. Who else do you think?
I've got Malcolm Brown from the Rams. Seemed to split
Yeah,
with Gurley quite well and seemed to get the goal line carries, which is a big boost. 6 points.
yeah. And if he is going to be a red zone threat and someone needs depth in that position, yeah, that could be.
Be a
I
solid
mean,
pickup.
I know we called it Freak Week 1, which, yeah, maybe he might be limited in other games, but you never know. So, yeah, you've gone 2 Browns at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to make it a third in a minute.
Third Brown.
No, I'm joking.
Go on, who's your third?
I'm going to go with, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this,
I
Tom
love
Brady.
Tom Brady.
A solid 25 points against Steelers, whose defense should be a heck of a lot better than what
Yeah,
they played. But they're playing the Dolphins next, who
arguably, well, not even arguably, they're the worst team in the NFL.
they're going to go 0-16. They remind me of the Browns a couple of years ago and just how abjectly horrid they are. Just as a franchise as a whole.
The fan base as well, it's just
despicable.
Yeah, terrible.
But Tom Brady, a solid 25-point performance against the Steelers, should hit the same against the Dolphins, maybe even a little bit more. If you need to stream a QB.
Yeah, and I think that might be... You might be onto something there, because you look at Andy and the team he's got starting Mayfield. You never know, and he's in those top 3 picks, isn't he, for waivers? So you never know. You might see Andy pick up Brady. Who knows? Unless he accepts my trade. But just putting it out there, Andy. I'm still waiting for your response.
Yeah.
So my 3 were I agree with you on Brown. It depends if Luke's even going to waiver anyone in. Actually, he might not even be playing anymore. Who knows?
No.
But
don't really hear from him much, do we?
I thought John Ross. He had an insane points haul.
He did, yeah.
And with AJ Green not really, I don't know if AJ Green's going to do much. So Boyd's probably going to get double coverage, which might leave Ross in a position to, have some receptions.
Maybe he's the new number 1 for the Bengals. Well, at least Green's out.
Well, I reckon Boyd would be, but he'll be an option, won't he, John Ross? But yeah. So he was my other one. And then, again, it all depends on position, but Littleton for the Rams, linebacker, scored 20 points this week, which is insane. So, obviously that's probably with... trying to think what he actually got. If he got interceptions, he must have got an interception or forced fumble or something like that, but... He's obviously had a good game week, and sometimes people go early on defensive players like that. So you never know.
Solid pickup.
You never know. I mean, I'd love to try and get into the mind. Well, I don't know if I would love to try and get into the mind of Liam, because it's probably a very dark place. But being a Dolphins fan, but
very depressing.
I'd be interested to see who he waivers in, because I mean, knowing Liam, he'll probably go for someone like Case Keenum or Stafford, just collect.
Yeah.
An extra quarterback, I guess, because when you've got 3, you're probably thinking, why not 4?
Yeah. What, big risk? Maybe 5 even.
Yeah.
Because there's a few there still.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton.
That's
available.
True. So yeah, we might see Liam pick up another couple quarterbacks this week. Who knows? I mean, who knows how that man thinks? Speaking of Liam again, I mean... We'll just cover.
Really taking a beating this episode.
No, we'll just cover the Mahomes Rivers tally, because it was an interesting week for both quarterbacks. Obviously, Mahomes had a flying start to the game and then sort of tailed off a little bit. But obviously, when they were that far in front and with a bit of a knock and everything, they probably didn't have to throw the ball as much, and there's probably reasons for it. But Mahomes threw for 378 yards. Which is pretty respectable, isn't it? Well, respectable, that's very good. But again, interestingly, Rivers' tally, he managed to get 333 yards. So he's only 45 yards down at this point. I know it's only week 1, and I still think Liam is mentally disabled for making that bet. But you never know. I mean, Rivers is going for it.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the only thing is that Rivers will be consistently in the 300s, but Mahomes, he got 378 yards with absolute ease. against a Jags defence, which is one of the better defences in the league.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be fairly close, but Mahomes should easily win.
Yeah. Good call, Sam. I think that's well covered, and I know we've probably missed people, and but you can bitch and moan on the group chat to us if you want more coverage, and yeah,
and feel free to ring up at any time.
Yeah,
Question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Just to finish this whole segment, were there any other questions? I mean, Chris was mentioning a few crazy ones, wasn't he?
How about this one?
I haven't really looked at them, so.
This one's if teams were actually their nicknames, so Dolphins are Dolphins and Bears are Bears, what would be the best matchup?
Bears v Dolphins.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They just eat them.
Yeah.
In real life and in that scenario, it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Jets v Giants?
Jets v Giants. I guess the Jets. Just shoot them down, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but Giants can grab the planes, kind of like King Kong style.
Yeah, but it's a plane. You just fly higher than the giant.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's very true.
Go on, give me another one.
Another question or another team?
Yeah, 2 more teams. Yeah,
2 more teams. What? Okay, who would win out of? What the age-old question? Redskins or Cowboys?
Oh,
basically Cowboys v Indians.
I guess Cowboys. They got guns.
Yeah, probably.
I guess. Here's one then. Chargers v Browns.
The Chargers, because they're literal lightning.
Yeah.
The Browns are just shim.
That's the thing, though. You could blind whoever's in control of the lightning with poo.
I mean, it's a big ask.
Yeah, good question, Chris. Actually, I mean, I dismissed that question at first, but it's got us chatting.
I think what would be good for the next one, I think it's you and Tay. What position do you think each of us in the league would excel at the most?
Tay, missionary.
I think you should discuss this with Tay next time.
What are we talking about position
I think
on the football field?
No, probably sexual.
Okay, so I guess missionary. Although he's quite an adventurous sort of person, isn't he?
Well, that was from Chris, so I'm a bit worried about that.
Oh, Chris, you disgust me.
It's horrible.
Is there any better questions, or are they all from Chris?
They're all from Chris.
Oh, no.
Well, I think that's about it, really.
Okay. Well, that was a good segment. Got us chatting for another few minutes. I'm sorry, guys, this was even longer than last time, so you're just going to have to ride this wave of confusion with us. So thanks for listening. If you have, I doubt you have stuck around for 28 minutes, but yeah.
I mean, it's been a great time.
It's been great. I just like hanging out with Sam, and it's a shame Tay wasn't able to join us for this one, but that's the way the news goes. Seamless, timely, as always.
Incredible.
We'll get the hang of it.
Yeah.